With the taxi running, the three of you get in the back of the cab. Correct, Louise?
Correct.
Now, this is a scene I'm struggling to understand. Where is he sitting vis-à-vis the two of you?
In between.
So he's in the middle of a onesie sandwich?
Pretty much, yes.
There's you sitting there, on one side, you on the other, and him in the middle. Well, he's an elf, so that's not too bad. How would you describe the journey, Louise?
The most awkward experience I've ever been in.
Why? What was the conversation like?
I started a conversation for me to be able to deal with the rest of this evening by mentioning, could we go to a supermarket to pick up more alcohol?
On the way back, you realised it was so awkward. On the journey back, let's get some more alcohol to make the whole thing more bearable.
Yes.
Understood. Like Christmas with my mother-in-law. Point is this. You ended up back at the house, true?
Yes.
Now, at that stage, Libby, did you then at least say to him, look, I've got something terrible to say. This is not going to work out. You're not who I thought you were. We clearly don't have any chemistry. Let me assist you in getting home. Or something of that sort. Did you do that?
No.
What happened, in fact, Louise?
As we got out the taxi, we then found out the taxi fare was £80. I only had £70 in cash on me, so we had to ask Libby's mother for a tenner, so she had to drive to the cash point to go to get it. As she came back with the money, she clocked the gentleman that was with us and asked who he was, so Libby turned around and said he was my friend.
Did you turn around and say that to your mum?
Yes.
Well, I've got a statement from Mum. On the night in question, Libby had been drinking with her friend Louise at my house. They disappeared off out in a taxi. They seemed to take a long time, a good few hours, and turned up later with a young man I'd never met before, exclamation mark. When they arrived home, they'd managed to run up a huge taxi bill of £80. They couldn't afford the fare. Louise only had £70, so I had to cover the remaining £10 to keep the driver happy. Sensible mum. The girls acted irresponsibly on several counts that evening, including picking up a total stranger and running up such a huge bill they couldn't afford. Now, I'm going to leave your excellent mother's statement there. What happened the rest of the evening? I presume, as I said, you said, goodbye, this is not a very wise idea. We clearly have no chemistry. Goodbye. Is that what happened, Louise?
No.
Right. What did Libby do?
She invited him in. As we walked in, I poured myself a massive drink because I needed it for the situation. She then ran upstairs and was up there for about 20 minutes. Because she was up there for so long, I made an excuse to go upstairs and check on her.
Let's just pause. In other words, you're downstairs with the boy.
Yes.
She hasn't said goodbye to him. She's gone upstairs and left you with him. What in common did you have? Did you talk about the weather? Proust? What was it?
I would attempt to make conversation and he would end up just saying, yeah, and then not talk.
Well, what topic matters did you go through?
Music, travel, films, anything that normally gets people to talk.
In other words, it didn't go well.
No.
Now, what stage did you tell him, thank you very much, it's time to leave?
I went upstairs to Libby.
And what did she do?
She was in her room and turned around to me and said she didn't like him, so she was going to stay up here.
Not very sensible. What happened to this boy that ended up in the house?
The boy ended up staying on the sofa downstairs.
Yes, he did, because your mum was a very generous, very thoughtful person and took a view and said, I was forced to let the poor lad sleep on our couch because we live in the middle of nowhere. And he went home the next day, correct?
Correct.
What are you suing your friend for?
£70.
Why don't you owe her half of it?
Because she never asked for the money back and she knew that I was currently unemployed at the time.
She knew that you were currently unemployed,
I was unemployed at the time.
Has this affected your friendship?
It did, but we got over it. But
No doubt you've had splendid more adventures in your onesies, correct?
Not in our onesies.
not in a onesie.
That's a happy relief for the whole of humanity, madam. For more Judge Rinder cases, click here. And if you've got a legal issue of your own, get in touch with us by clicking over here.